Apparently, if there is anything to go through, he's gone through it and then some, but has come out the other side. I love stories with happy endings. I don't know if you're a volunteer of the year, but you probably could be with all the volunteer work that you do as well. Please help me welcome Dan Wischnewski.
When I was just a kid, I can remember overhearing some people discussing drug addiction. And what they said was, anyone that is addicted to drugs is pathetic and weak, probably was from poverty and an abusive home. I've never forgotten that. For myself, I have loving parents. They provided everything that I could possibly need, and there's nothing that they wouldn't do for me. My whole family is like that, and so I'm one of the lucky ones. I was never pathetic or weak. My problem was I always felt this underlying sadness in everything that I experienced in life. And I never felt like I really fit in. Back then, depression and anxiety wasn't something that was really talked about. And so I used to think to myself, just ride it out. Things will get better. Just hold on. But things didn't get better. They actually became much, much worse. I spent a great deal of my life searching for something to bring true and real happiness in my life, but nothing seemed to work. So it wasn't until later on in life that I was introduced to the party scene. And what I saw was tight-knit groups of people that were drinking and using soft drugs. For me, it seemed exciting and fun and dangerous. So I jumped in with both feet. I felt a part of, and the soft drugs distracted me from my sadness temporarily. But in time, the soft drugs stopped doing what I needed them to do. So I started experimenting with hard drugs. And that progressed to a full-on addiction. My whole life revolved around using. The more dependent I became, the more loss that came into my life. I started losing homes, jobs, relationships, my health, and my dignity. I was disgusted with what I'd become, and I hated myself, and I was sorry. I was sorry that I was a failure. I was sorry that I was going to die, but I was lost. I was so lost, and I just couldn't find my way back. The suffering that a drug addict lives with every day of their life is unbearable. The deeper I went into the drug culture, the more I started noticing the people that I was using with were disappearing. I'd find out later that some were murdered, some committed suicide, some overdosed, and some went to jail. And that broke my heart. Because I spent a lot of time with these people, and they were just as sick as I was. But when we were using together, we were able to say everything that we needed to say. And I heard all of their stories. So when they disappeared, I felt like I lost a part of who I was. And I also realized that if this was happening to them, then it was just a matter of time before it was going to happen to me. There was still a little bit of a spark of desire to stay living. And so I was at a low enough point that I finally went into drug rehab and 12-step programs. And they helped me so much. And I appreciate everything that they did for me. But as much as I got from the 12-step programs, there was a lot of things I didn't agree with. There's a lot of things I didn't feel in my heart. So I started to slide, and I started to use again. Now the only difference is I went from full-on addict to functional addict. I would justify using on the weekends by saying, well, I still have a job. I still pay my bills. I'm able to hide my addiction from everyone, and I have never, ever in my life used drugs or had drugs around my son. The fact is, I was starting to get sick again. And I was terrified that I was going to lose everything that I worked so hard to get back. But there's nothing I could do. I tried everything. I was out of options, and I was just a hopeless case. Until an amazing moment happened. That moment was, my son and I were walking in the hallway of my apartment building. And this was when he was just beginning to speak at that age. And I was in a bit of a rush. So I took a few steps ahead of him. And I guess that scared him. Because what he said to me, I think about every day of my life. He said, "Daddy, don't leave me." And when he said that, the thought that came to my mind was, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, I will do whatever it takes. And at that moment, the solution came to me. I was going to take everything that I learned from the 12-step programs that I agreed with and that I believed in, and I read every self-help book and every book on spirituality that I could. And after a long trial and error period, I put it together. Now I'm free. I am no longer in recovery. I am recovered. So who am I now today? I'm happy and I'm healthy. I'm a proud father. I have real, loving relationships with my family, with my girlfriend, with my friends. I spend a great deal of my spare time doing volunteer work because it makes me feel fantastic. I was just nominated to be on the board for the Rotary Club of Winnipeg, which helps thousands of people all over the world. I'm a very active volunteer for the Canadian Cancer Society. I just started my own business on the side, helping people to live healthier lives. And I have an excellent job that I work during the day. I'm also currently training for a fitness competition. And I'm also, right now, I'm in the process of writing a book of everything that I put together that changed my life. And it's not geared just for drug addiction or recovery. It's for anyone that is looking to overcome challenges in their life and that just wants to live a better life. So I've been asked, after living a whole lifetime of drug addiction, what did I learn from that? What did I take from that? What did I learn from that? And my response is always the same, that it's never too late. There's always hope, and everything is possible if you're willing to do whatever it takes.